Hello, this is Len Brown, Brown's Custom Black Mesa Saddles, Trees, Protector Pad, the Corrector Pad, Never Tight Girths, Near Tight Cinches, Never Tight Cruppers, you name it, we've got it. All of it good for the horse, and the rest of it is great for the rider. So we try to keep both of you happy at the same time. That's a full-size job sometimes. The Protector is under this Patriot saddle right now. The Patriot's a very popular all-around saddle. Trail, endurance, riding in the mountains, so on and so forth. Carrying gear off the old Army McClellan style fork, very easy. You can run rings through here. You can put a rope through it. You've got a luggage strap right here. These open up quite large to tie on bedroll and sleeping bag or whatever you want. Extra rings, extra ties, and your breast collar D's are up high. You always get a crupper D ring as well, right back here. The cantle looks low, which is nice for one thing. When you go to swing your leg over a 15.5 or 16 hand horse, you can do it when you get in the saddle. When you swing your leg over the cantle, it's not unbelievably high off the horse. Little bitty thing off this bar. This bar is sitting down there quite well. What you do have, and it's hard to explain this to people because saddle makers don't explain it this way. They measure a cantle here to here, where this one is what, just 3.5? Something like that on a bare tree. Yeah, it's just 3 inches on a finished piece here. If I level this out, I won't put it on top of the fork, I'll just level it out. And I go down to the seat, how much cantle have we got? We're at 5 3/4. That's with 3/8 of an inch of foam in the seat. So you have good security in the seat, but not having to swing your leg over a 5 3/4 inch cantle, which would be clear up to here. Because the flat bar in the tree, that's the way a lot of Western saddles are made. This has the English bar that I used to build my premier dressage saddle off of for ortho-flex. I used to build a stitch down model for ortho-flex. It has the same cantle as those saddles as well. So that set of bars, and I have modified them considerably in the front. They don't shoot up with a big rise like the old ortho-flexes did. They have a very gentle rise. It's kept quite low. A good flat spot right here, so a balanced seat. You rise up as you come back to the pocket, but it has a very good pocket for a comfortable ride back here, and great for your seat bones here. We try to keep your area for your seat bones wide enough to accommodate a woman's seat bones. It's 8 inches across here, and that's right in here, and that will accommodate most seat bones on a woman. The ischial tuberosities are much wider. They're padded right here, and that's where they should be sitting. We've got quite a narrow waist. So the waist is narrow partly because of the loops that hang from the tree. If you make a good tree, and you run a stirrup strap up over the bar of the tree and bring it around underneath, you've got to cut a groove in the bottom of the bar. As you can see, this bar is thin enough, we wouldn't have much bar left if we had a groove down here for the stirrup strap. With no groove, like so many saddles you see today coming out of everywhere in a marketplace, no groove on the bottom for the stirrup strap, it creates a bump that sores your horse. Sores him very effectively with good firm pressure and contact right where he lifts his back the most every time he makes a reach with the hind quarters. Here in the tree you can see the flat spot, you can see the gentle concave rise. It never hits you in the crotch. I can't stand a saddle when I get in and the first thing I feel is a little lump right at the forward portion of my crotch. Nice dish in the cantle, and we talked about the height a while ago. I've widened this McClellan fork to keep it low. It's lower than the originals. So If you look at it, it's not way up here. It doesn't give you a great big high fork to lean over. It is typically lower than most saddles with a horn. The other thing about all no pinch twist bars that I make, we have a tiny bit of space here. We have a tiny bit of space there. This is to let things move without having a sharp edge. We've got all kinds of space here. That's to keep from pinching withers. To spread out and clear the withers, get a hold of the horse on the upper rib cage, it gets a hold of the round-backed horse. If I put it clear back here like there was no wither, my contact is down here, my space is up here, I have something that grabs the horse. It is also straightening the tree because I am now going from here to here. I am giving room under here. I'm straightening the tree. So, to straighten a tree, you turn the bar in at the bottom and front. You make your primary contact here. That helps straighten your saddle tree. They can never be too straight because your horse is always lifting his back. That is a 16-inch saddle. It's a 16.5 tree measured the way it should. 16 right to there, right to the tree itself at 16.5. Right here, finished, it measures 12 inches right to there. 12 inches is a 16-inch seat. 11 is a 15. We're going to measure a little less because the foam right here is going to measure an even 16. So if I give you a finished 16, I'm building a 16.5 tree. This tree is 17.5. It's going to build a 17-inch saddle. When I go right here to right here, I have exactly 13.5 inches. That gives you a full-sized, finished 17. Right now the tree's 17.5. Width on the bars of the Patriot. Width of the Gullet, I should say. Not too wide. It is all of 5 3/4 right there to there. But it's like I tell people, it's not the width of your gullet that makes the saddle work on a wider horse or a thick-withered horse or whatever. It's your contact down here on the upper rib cage and your opening of the gullet to keep you from pinching. So, when you look at it, you look at any of my trees, the 45 degrees that you see in other trees is not here. Your primary contact is about the middle of the bar, if I get this even, down low to the middle, down low to the middle, and you're open up here where you don't pinch. Even on a pretty young horse, the pretty thin horse, you don't pinch. So that's the little basics of the Patriot. And of course you've got an open channel here. And this is one tree that I leather cover on the bottom. I do it for one reason. I don't have any sheepskin on the bottom. You're riding on the tree. You can't get much closer contact. If you look here, we have reinforced the bottom of the flap and sewn a second flap onto it. This is the single layered part of the outer flap. Right here is your rigging on this under flap. Your latigo strap attaches here. This rotates to the angle of your girth, which is almost going forward with your latigo strap to get to your girth. If you need to hold the saddle back, you take your last loop down to the girth through the front D and buckle up from there. You've made 2 passes through the girth from here. You take 1 pass through from here and tighten a little bit here by hand, tighten here with the buckle, and you hold the saddle back. This rear loop is to pull the saddle forward like a big walking horse with big shoulders, a saddlebred, or you name it. Sometimes they'll scoot a saddle too far back. If that be the case and you need to pull it forward, last loop, you go to the rear slot. Let me show you this to where it's right side up instead of 90 degrees sideways. That's what you're dealing with. There's no lumps or bumps for you. The one thing I want you to notice, and I'm going to turn this saddle around backwards on the pad to show you. There is a bubble in the leather right here. It's a new saddle. When you tighten it down, it's going to smooth out some. But until you ride it and break in that leather with the stirrup strap, you will not be right to your horse, and you will not have ultimate comfort until it's broken in. There's nothing we can do about this. Nobody complains about it, but I like to show you. Because that little bit of a bubble will go away. But it's there on a new saddle, and the leather stretches, breaks in. You'll literally create a groove under the stirrup strap. As it does so, and the stirrup strap rather disappears after a lot of miles in the saddle. I use a 2.5-inch wide stirrup strap because 2.5 does not pinch your legs. A 2 has a tendency to pinch, especially the thinner it is, the more it pinches, like biothane. And a 1-inch strap or 1.5 pinches to beat the bag, good old English saddle style. So this stops your pinching. Nobody has that problem whatsoever. I thought I would show you that because it's something everybody asks about. This is a suede out leather. That means it isn't slick on the pad. It gets a hold of the pad well. Helps keep things in place. That's your Patriot saddle. Great big old heavy thing. Let's see, 2 fingers picks it up. I guess 1 finger like this will pick it up. It weighs this one weighs all of about 14 pounds, and it's a 17-inch. So that's 1 finger. I can even get it out at the end, folks. You can't do that with anybody else's. Good dry wood in a lifetime guaranteed tree. That's the only way you can do that. There's plenty of leather here. It's lightweight dry wood that does not rot from the inside over years and the tree come apart. It's been dried quite a while in my facility. This is aspen. Doesn't have the sap in it. It's light. When it's dry, it's really light. It's porous. It grabs a hold of the resin. Makes a fantastic saddle and gives you a fantastic, comfortable saddle to ride. Thank you. Patriot Saddle, Len Brown.